What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so there was a lot of hype yesterday behind James Harden scoring 55 points against the 4 and I guess now 12, the 4 and 12 Charlotte Hornets. And, talking about how James Harden is holding it down, and, it's amazing what he's doing without Kawhi Leonard and Bradley Beal. Only thing I will say about in James Harden's behalf, I guess, is that it's of course messed up what's going on with Bradley Beal and Kawhi Leonard. But hey, are any of us really surprised by that, behind that, knowing the history behind Bradley Beal in recent years and how he couldn't stay healthy? You can see the downward trajectory, and with Kawhi's Kawhi, man. He don't give a fuck. He gonna miss games. He don't give a damn what anybody thinks. That's why I don't give a damn what anybody thinks. He'll never be. To me, he ain't no damn Hall of Famer, or he shouldn't be first ballot. I tell you that. They need to punish Kawhi Leonard. He's not gonna be first ballot, and if he's tied into anything unethical or illegal when they do their investigations, they shouldn't put his ass in the Hall of Fame. But back to James Harden. If James Harden was a dude like, let's say he was an OG basketball player who was a great scorer and he had a history of showing up in big games, but, maybe it was an issue of him unfortunately running into buzzsaw type talent teams, like just killers. But he had a history of like at least going out on his shield. And he's in the twilight of his career. He's doing this. Okay, I would give him his props then, because he would have a history of showing up when it actually mattered. But we've seen this before with James Harden. I mean, how many times I've been doing these types of videos on James Harden, man, for at least, my God, what, 8 years? 8 or 9 years? And it's the same thing every year. Regular season, he's a flamethrower. He's a monster in the regular season. But in the playoffs, it's back in the saddle again. Riding off into the sunset. Choking again. He does it every year. I mean, don't you guys see a pattern? It's every year. And I don't mean shoot under 50% and scoring 30 points or something like that. No. Epic choke jobs. You understand me? Do we remember? Was it 2017, I think? The year when he was with the Rockets and they played a Spurs team that didn't have, I think, Ginobili or Kawhi, I think it was. And the Rockets had every advantage you can think of. And they were at home. And the Spurs beat their ass by 40. Do we remember 2018? Somebody came on Ticket Street talking about James Harden had bad teams. Motherfucker, they won 65 games that year. I think they were statistically the best defensive team in the league. They were actually constructed. That team was actually constructed to beat the Warriors. And they should have beaten the Warriors. But they didn't. Why? Because they got choke artists like James Harden on the team. They missed 27 fucking threes in a row. That won't all James Harden. Part of that was D'Antoni's idiocy, but James Harden didn't contribute at all. Do I remember 2019? If I remember correctly. This is when Kevin Durant was hurt. And it was mostly just Clay and Steph. They were at Houston. Remember? Steph Curry started off the game slow. James Harden hot. What happened? As usual, the second half of the game, especially fourth quarter, James Harden turned over the ball at home. Steph Curry scored like 20 points in the quarter, and they eliminated the Rockets. We've seen this before. James Harden with Philly, he'll have a 40-point game here and there. He give y'all guys false hope. In the closeout game, James Harden, 8 points, 2 of 15, 5 turnovers. Horrible turnovers, too. The same type of turnovers that y'all give Russell Westbrook so much L, James Harden doing y'all say a goddamn thing. Now, I don't think Russell Westbrook the greatest point guard of all time. I'm level-headed. I like Russ. I like his playing style. Not the best point guard, but I tell you one thing, I've never seen Russ choke like this dude do in the playoffs. Can James Harden score? Yeah, he can score. You know what I'm saying? But I tell you one thing, a lot of what these guys are doing is suspect as hell. Suspect as hell. You got 6 players right now in the NBA averaging 30 points or more. 6. When Michael Jordan played his last season, nobody was averaging 30 points again, not even Jordan. Although, proportionally, Karl Malone and Mike, Karl Malone and Mike and Shaq were doing more heavy lifting. They had a higher percentage of their team's points than these guys have now. And Lauri Markkanen is only 1/10 of a point behind them. So really, you got 7 guys averaging 30 points a game right now. That's not a good thing. It's not because of skill set or all. It's the rules, man. It's the game style and the rules. Yeah, these guys can shoot better from outside than ever before. And overall, ball handling is more advanced. But that's a lot of it's because of the rules. The mid-range game ain't improved. That's gotten worse. And I'm going to give you an example how much easier it is to score in today's NBA. Do you know that Kevin Durant has better offensive numbers after his Achilles rupture than before? Now, do any of us think that he's a better player than he was before the Achilles rupture? Of course not. It's just so much easier to score. One of the reasons why guys like James Harden and Steph Curry and LeBron James, you know what I'm saying, and Kevin Durant, one of the reasons why these guys are still able to be so effective is that there's not really much physicality in the NBA anymore. There's really not. And then you couple that with the fact that one of the last things to go is shooting. So if you got guys like LeBron James and KD who are naturally bigger than a lot of other guys anyway at their position, and then you got a guy like James Harden who is good at creating his own shot still at this stage of his career, and Steph Curry who's still good at creating his own shot and getting screens or whatever, or shooting off screens, they can still score. And score in abundance. Now you got this rule now where you can't even have any contact with shooters. I told y'all this going into the season. These guys will shoot a ton of free throws and they will score more points than they ever did before. So all this 50 point, this shit don't faze me. This shit is not that, it's not impressive to me, man. 7 50-point games already this year. 7. In 1999, the lockout season, the season high was for points was 46. 46. That was like a 60-point game now. 65 points or something. This shit is not impressive to me, man. It's not. It's the reason why these scoring records had lasted as long as they did, man. 50 points is not 50 points anymore. So, y'all will see. Now, if James Harden somehow, mystically, magically, if Mongo Slade ends up scoring like, or he goes on the tear in the playoff. First of all, the Clippers ain't going to the playoff. What I'm talking about. The Clippers ain't going to the playoffs. So, y'all explain to me why James Harden is so amazing. I'm an individual like this. When y'all think of great players, right, the great scorers, and this is, I'm not throwing this as shade, but when y'all think of the great scorers in history, right, do y'all tend to think of World Be Free? You don't, right? You know why? Because World Be Free played for the Clippers in the 80s. He was scoring big, 25, 27. One year he averaged 30, when there actually was a lot of points. But they were losing. And I'm not knocking World Be Free. He was a great scorer, a great player, but the great players elevate their teams, man, not just put up points. And James Mongo Slade Harden, he comes across to me as more like a World Be Free type guy. Individually, he can put up a lot of points, but it's a difference between him and a Dominique Wilkins and a Michael Jordan and a Jerry West and an Elgin Baylor and those guys. It's a different Kobe Bryant. He's not on their level. And James Harden's numbers are inflated also because he plays in this era. Same thing with DeMar DeRozan. See, the shit y'all be pulling about Wilt, oh, that era was inflated. What do you think this era is? This is the most inflated era ever. Do you really believe that Nikola Jokic will be putting up these numbers in the 90s, the 2000s? Y'all really believe that? He's a great player, but he would not be putting up 28, 14, and 10. Come on. Y'all got better sense than that. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it, man. Tell me what you guys think.